Welcome to Chasing Winners. Peter O'Neill, David Shortte and Jesse Earnshaw are about to join you to preview the meeting from Mandurah in the Peel tonight. They will also look in depth at the meeting from Cannington tomorrow night. The boys will also be joined by Ryan Levitsky, who will provide his best over the 2 nights of chasing. Let the chase begin.
And a very good morning, everyone, and welcome along to Chasing Winners. We're up and about this morning because the WA chases are still flying right the way around the country. And I say a very good morning to David Shortte, who had been very excited. Uncle Tommy last night, the son of Tommy Shelby, and the weathers would be on a high as we speak right now. Still probably coming down. They probably haven't been to sleep yet, Shorty. Good morning.
No, good morning to you, Pete. Also, Jesse, everyone tuned into Chasing Winners. I can't vouch for what they were up to last night, but certainly if it was me, I don't know that I would have slept, Pete. What a huge result. The Flying Amy Classic up there last night. High quality lineup. Uncle Tommy used the inside draw to absolute advantage, able to punch up really hard and went on for a really brave win. Lakeview Emily was coming late. Sunset Frazier, after finding itself in an awkward spot, was a huge performance to finish back in third, and the New South Wales sprinter Overflow Bow was back in fourth. But all honours with the Perth Cup winner Uncle Tommy. Picks up a Group 2 and adds that to the mantelpiece now, and starting to put together a really nice resume, Pete, for a greyhound that's sort of flown under the radar a little bit over here in WA. Uncle Tommy has now got a Group 1 and a Group 2 under the belt, and tremendous winning strike rate, 15 of 27.
As Shorty mentions, flying under the radar probably goes to show, and we've been discussing this and people say we're a little bit parochial. Jesse, as I say good morning to you, the depth of greyhounds that we have in Western Australia and the breed, how it's improved over the last 10 years.
Oh, it's been monumental, considering 10 years ago you'd struggle to get 2 or 3 dogs to go over east in 5 years to go out and win races. And at the moment now, we might as well rename Albion Park to Cannington too, because that's just where the WA Chasers seem to perform. We've had Elite Machine last year. Daddy's Girl won a Group 2 final. I think it might have been this year, in fact. And we've took out the Flying Amy Classic, which is, I believe, a Group 1 as well this year. Yep,
so outstanding, and it's only the start of their carnival, so looking forward to what's going ahead. And, of course, David Hobby sent a few greyhounds across there, Shorty, that have been looked after by Tony Apap, and it was a very good run, as you mentioned, in the final by Sunset Frazier, who I expected to lead, was well supported. Uncle Tommy got the drift, so I think opened about $5.50 on Tab Touch, got out to around $13, $14. And Sunset Frazier was very, very good in running third.
It was indeed, Pete, and this dog, very unusual that 2 starts in a row that it's sort of missed the start and found itself in awkward positions and had to work overtime. So you wouldn't have thought that it had happened 3 times. We know Sunset Frazier is one of the most reliable beginners and musterers that we've ever seen here in WA. So you'd expect with a safer getaway, Sunset Frazier is not far away from nicking one of these big ones itself.
All right, let's turn our attention across. Tomorrow night we've got the final of the Winter Cup, and we've got heats of the Nambillup Cup tonight down at Mandurah, waiting on the scratchings to come through. They'll be through shortly for us, but we start off with the first over the 300 metres. The favourite on Tab Touch is Prime Voltage Jesse for Glenn Price, currently quoted at $2.
I was a bit surprised to see that. It was a little bit disappointing last week at Northern when second behind Simply Presto. I've gone with the outside draw and Fennec Fox. Form over the 380 hasn't been flashed, but down to the 300 metres at Mandurah, different track, down in class as well, comes out a mix 5-6, goes half a grade lower to a grade 6. Shouldn't take him too long to win shouldn't take her too long to win one of these. For second 2, Turk Stream, always thereabouts over the 380 at Cannington, down to the 300. For third, number 1, Prime Voltage, and for fourth, 7, Sebastian Mack, 8-2-1-7, race 1.
8, 2, 1 and 7 for Jesse. Yeah, I'm a bit with you. I'm a little surprised at how trim the Reds come up in this race, to be honest. I've also gone with Fennec Fox, a greyhound that at this point in time looks really well placed in this sort of grade of race. It's only 1-3, but runner-up on 10 separate occasions, never too far away from the action, and this looks as good an opportunity as it's going to get to win a race for a little while. From that same greyhound, number 2 looks good value, Turk's Dream, a greyhound that was placed going back 3 runs ago. Has been a consistent winner. No joy, track and trip, but 11-65 is a good winning strike rate in a race where not too many dogs have that. 1 Prime Voltage from the draw does look to get a good look at them, but I think it's probably short enough in the market. And I'll round it out with a greyhound number 5 in Zen Tokyo, hopefully hitting the line and filling a minor spot. 8, 2, 1 and 5 for me in the first, Pete.
Same 4 numbers, but I'll go with Prime Voltage. I did my selections before the markets came out. I'm happy to stick with him. I think he's the best winning chance in the race. He's short enough, as you mentioned, though. Number 8, Fennec Fox, a greyhound with a reasonable record from wide draws. Number 4, Dynamite Mac, and 5, Zen Toko, 1845, race number 1. Race number 2, and the favourite here is number 2, Kenya Gulfstream at $2.70. I thought that he'd be hard to beat. He was a winner over this distance going back 4 or 5 runs ago. He comes into an inside draw. It's interesting that his only victory in his career was from box number 7, but I'm happy to stick with him from box 2 with a vacant box on his outside. 4, Security Guard's been knocking on the door for Corey White. 5, Capadora looks to have a fair bit of ability. And 7, Raclette Manelli. 2, 4, 5 and 7, Shorty, for me in race 2.
2, 4, 5 and 7 for Pete. I'm actually gone with the dog on top here that Pete doesn't have in his first 4 numbers. Number 1, Taming the Tiger. I always had a little bit of time for this dog for Kirsty Moore, and while it hasn't had much luck at its last 5, you have a look at those draws, 6, 7, 7, 4, 8. So it hasn't really been blessed from the box draw gods. Prior performances had been pretty good from this chaser, and 1 for 1 from the draw. That actual performance was impressive going back to late April when winning in 17:01, leading all the way here over the 300 metres. Obviously has to go up the extra 100 metres here, but I think capable of rolling to the top and giving them something to run down at a good price. So I'll go with number 1, Taming the Tiger from the good draw. From number 2, Kenya Gulfstream, who if it can run anywhere near that 22.29, it's clearly going to take a fair bit of stopping. I thought outside of that particular duo that number 4, Security Guard, and also greyhound number 7, Raclette Manelli, were worthy of inclusion. 1, 2, 4 and 7 for me, race number 2.
I've gone 2, 7, 4, 1, 2, Kenya Gulfstream on top. This greyhound just doesn't know how to navigate a field. That one win from box 7 in 22.29, while it was hot, there was only a field of 4 to go around. Has to contend with the 6 runners tonight, but I think has the class edge. From 7, Raclette Manelli for 3rd, number 4 in Security Guard, and for 4th, I will throw in 1, Taming the Tiger. 2, 7, 4, 1, race 2.
All right, let's go to race number 3 on the program. Short price favourite here is number 4, All About Cole at $1.36. A greyhound who's been impressive, winning at his last 2, Jesse.
Yeah, it was really good first up over the trip last week when recording that 37.06 run. That's some 4 lengths off the track record, which is a good place where you want to be with All About Cole. For 2nd, number 8, Hippie Trail, was a little bit disappointing last week when first up over the trip. Hopefully she's better for the run. For 3rd, 2, Coco Shimmer, a last start winner at Cannington. And for 4th, I'll throw in 7, Ballistic Ant. While she's not racing at her best, this might be a race where she can come into it. 4, 8, 2, 7, race number 3.
Yeah, looks a standout, All About Cold. Disappointed the price. I was hoping for something sort of with a 1.6, 1.7, hopefully around there. But 136, I think, is the logical winner. Was devastating last week against a very similar lineup. Should just be winning, you'd think, tonight. From number 2, Coco Shimmer, 8, Hippie Trail, and 6, Clifton Matilda. 4, 2, 8 and 6. It looks a nice novelty race and looks a standout bet on the program, Pete. That performance last week was dominant.
Certainly was, Shorty, and I'll be going that way as well. Don't have to be Einstein at the price. 7, Ballistic Ant, I think, can run into the top 2. 6, Clifton Matilda has been running second regularly. And number 2, Coco Shimmer, 4, 7, 6, 2, race number 3. Race number 4 on the program, and here we have a scratching of number 2, Go Seek Isla at this early stage. I haven't got the scratchings through from the team, but number 1, Oreo Apprentice, currently at $2.70 Shorty, greyhound from box number 1, who has had 4 starts from the draw and has never been placed.
No, and yet you would swear that the draw will be okay for the dog, particularly now with a vacant drawn on the outside with Go Seek Isla. Looking for a little bit of value here. I'm going to team up with number 8, Defender. Member of a really nice litter, this Zach Manelli Recall Kelsos litter. They just keep getting better with racing. This dog's only had the 4 career starts, and I think it's open to a fair bit of improvement. So 8 on top at a nice price on an each-way basis. From number 1, Oreo Apprentice, I'm sure that box 1 will be a nice advantage here. And you look back through some of those recent performances, 4-back runner-up in 27.84 behind Our Girl Jupiter was a good, solid performance. It looks ready to certainly be right in the mix in a race like this. I think number 3, Whole Shot, has to be respected for Corey White And I'll also include number 4 in All Grunt, 8, 1, 3 and 4, race number 4.
I'll go 8-1-7-3 with Defender on top as well. I thought that was great value. Has run over the trip before, finished down the track in a derby heat behind Sunset Mayhem, I believe that might have been. But before then was the winner at Cannington in 30 and 36, and I think decent value really to take out this race. It's pretty open. Oriole Apprentice, like Pete said, the box draw is a pretty big concern considering he's never been placed from 4 attempts. For third, number 7, Connie Keeping Greyhound, who will relish the wide draw. And for fourth, I'll throw in 3, Whole Shot, 8-1-7-3, race 4.
Shorty, I know that you follow the Mandurah form a lot closer than I do, and we spoke about your liking of the track last week when going through your thoughts. I'm having difficulties in... I go on stats, and I'm having difficulties in seeing so many greyhounds that have got long losing sequences or never have won at the track.
Yeah, some dogs just can't stand the place.
And I'm about to tip one.
Okay, yeah, and look, sometimes they eventually get the hang of it, and at the moment, the reality is you've got 2 choices. You've got Northern or Mandurah, and you might have a dog that doesn't like either of those 2 tracks or hasn't had a winning record. If you've got one of those, they'll eventually have enough unplaced runs where they'll lob into a race where they're likely to find the arm or get closer, and maybe once they get a look, they can improve and grow a bit of a liking for the venue. Yeah,
so I'm going with Whole Shot. I think that her form recently has been against maybe some better opposition. She's yet to win in 15 starts at the track. 13 of those have been over this trip. She's run a 27.43 though, and I think I'd be happy to have a greyhound that could go 27.43. You'd think they'd be winning a novice. So 3 on top from number 8 Defender, number 4 in All Grunt, and 2 Go Seek Isla. 3, 8, 4 and 2 in race number 4.
Is 2 not scratched?
Sorry, it is scratched, yeah. Number 1, Oriole Apprentice, I should have put in there for 4th. So 3, 8, 4 and 1 in race number 4. To race number 5 on the program, first leg of our quaddie tonight, open market here with Sunset Pepe at $3.30, Wise Barra $3.40, Burglemere $3.50 and Bezecchi at $4. Good strong race here for the opening heat of the Nambillup Cup.
It is indeed. I'm going to stick with Wise Barra. There's been a few little issues with this girl in recent times, so that's the only small query that I have got. There's been a couple of races where Wise Barra's been nommed and hasn't gone around, but I will say that her best is very good. We've seen her go to the races 17 occasions, 7 wins, 5 placings, and some of her efforts have been really slick. Here at Mandurah, she's won 2 of 3. She came from a middle draw when winning in 27.05, defeating Shy Emoji. Prior to that was really impressive, running 27.14 here. She's a really talented bitch, but she relies on getting it right at the start and then being able to use the track. From box number 2, again, she's going to have to get the start right. If she does, I think she'll be winning. So 2 on top, Wise Barra, fresh coming in. I've made her one of the better bets on the night. I think around 340 is a bet I'm happy to have, hoping she can spear to the top and be too slick for them. From number 4, Sunset Pepe, got enormous respect for this dog. It's gone sub 27 here, and not many dogs do that. Number 6, Burglemere, very talented. We've seen this dog run some really quick times at the Cannington circuit. Whether or not Mandurah is the ideal place for the dog yet, we're still learning. And number 8 in Bezecchi is another real up-and-coming talent from the Paul Stewart camp. Just needs to overcome the draw. And the way that the box draw is, while the last little bit of the distance may be a query, with Wise Barra getting up the track, Fizzy Chrissy, a dog probably better known over 400, is going to get a lovely run up along on the fence. Maybe struggling for petrol tickets the last 30 or 40 metres, but make sure you include it in trifectas and first fours because it's going to get the world's perfect run up along the inside there. It'll just come down to whether or not it can run out that last little bit.
Okay, now what does a trainer do, Jesse? If with the Burglemere, for example, the last 3 races were abandoned last week, would a trainer then work their greyhounds or trial their greyhounds because they're missing that run the following day or not?
Yeah, they had the opportunity to trial on Monday night.
Okay.
At Mandurah, so if probably would have gone around there. Otherwise, the only other opportunity would have been a Thursday morning there, which probably a little bit too close to the race, considering that was yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they probably trialled Monday, I would assume.
So your dad would do that if the meeting was abandoned or the race was abandoned? Yep.
Yes, you'd try to get a run in somewhere.
Either that or just
work it a little bit harder up the straight.
100%. Yep. So if there's no race meeting available, just give them some extra work up and down the straight at home, or however you go about your galloping and fitness. Just make sure you work them.
I wouldn't be too worried.
No, not the one run. No.
No.
Which way?
I've been always told that a greyhound can retain its fitness for roughly 2 to 3 weeks without having a run if you just spell it in a kennel. So it's not too much of a concern.
Good information there. Which way are you going here?
2, 8, 6 and 4 with 2 Wise Barrow on top. I like the inside draw. I think she's going to shuffle off the first corner and take some of the other runners out, and she should be off and gone here. For second, number 8, Bezecchi. For third, 6, Burglemere. And for fourth, I'll throw in 4, Sunset Pepe. 2, 8, 6 and 4, race 5.
I'll go 2, 6, 4 and 8, Wise Barrow on top for me as well in race number 5. Now the scratching's through from Carlo. Race 4, number 2, Go Seek Isla comes out. In race number 7, scratch number 7, Examiner. Race 8, number 7, Brain Teaser. The reserves are out of race 9. And race number 10, scratch number 3, Social Equity. So they're the scratchings, thanks to Carlo Sorella for sending that information through this morning. So I have gone in race number 5. I've given you those selections. Race number 6, number 3, Arbolino is the favourite here at $2.25, and I thought would be hard to beat for trainer Paul Stewart. First up at the track and distance, but has been flying back in April up in town, and I think he's got a fair bit of ability. He's 1, 3 of 7. Number 2, Sunset Callisto, a greyhound who's run some reasonable times here at the track. Number 7, West on Miley, and number 8 in Tick, Tick, Tick. So 3, 2, 7, 8. I'll go in race number 6, Shorty.
Good race. Same dog on top, just on spec here, Arbolino. First look, track and trip, always a query. Runs into a very good lineup here. I think almost anything could win it. Number 1, Sneaky Pint off the draw, coming off some really good recent form for Chris House. Confidence should be high. 7, West on Miley. Its best is very, very capable in a race like this. 2, Sunset Callisto, but it doesn't end there. 6, Daddy's Girl. Very, very much in this race from a class perspective. 8, Tick, Tick, Tick will be strong over the final stages of this race. And even Blast of Irish is one you could throw in for third and fourth in trifectas and first fours. Tricky second leg of the quaddie, 3, 1, 7, 2.
I will go 7, 3, 6 and 1, trying to get some value here with West on Marley. Greyhound, who really likes the trip. She's had 7 starts, a win and a minor, placed in free-for-alls a lot in the past. She's got a personal best of 27-26, which is really competitive, and she doesn't mind a wide draw. Box 7, she's had 6 starts for 2 wins and 4 minors. I think she's really well placed here in this mixed 4-5 series. For second 3, Arbolino. He's a talented chaser. Just want to see how he goes first up at Mandurah. For third, 6, Daddy's Girl, and for fourth 1, Sneaky Pint. 7, 3, 6, 1, race 6.
3, 2, 7 and 8 for me. Let's go to race number 7 on the program, and this is the third heat of the Nambillup Cup, a greyhound race that was wasn't run last year because of the closure of Mandurah, and won the year before by Fire Cloud. Number 7, Examiners are scratching here, Shorty. Bagnayers at 370 and West on Smoky at 380, so not much between the two of them. Do you have much between them?
No, I don't have much between them, and I've actually tipped another young dog from this litter that I've taken a bit of a shine to, the Zach Manelli, Rico Calsos Curo. Of course, this is the next litter on from Hinto and the likes, who we know really love the Mandurah circuit and race well there. This greyhound, go back and watch this replay last week. Curo from box number 8, first look at the track, or second look at the track, but certainly first time we've seen it here for a little while, and it came from a horrible situation against a very good quality lineup and just ran away from them late. I thought it was a very eye-catching performance and the run of a dog that's got a very bright future. So happy to see the price that's there about it, and have an each-way spec on number 5, Curo, tonight to beat greyhound number 1 in West on Smoky, who gets a lovely draw here. Happy to have 3, Bagnaya in the mix. Disappointed at his last few starts at shortish odds. 2, Shy Emoji will be finishing the race off really well. And yeah, the likes of Window Shopper, Examiner have to be respected. Examiner's out, but probably the likes of Disco Daisy at big odds, and King Shot could hit the frame at longer odds. But for me, I'll spec the each way 5, Curo from 1, 3 and 2.
I'll go 2, 3, 5, 1. 2, Shy Emoji on top. The last couple have been a little bit disappointing, but she's down in class here to a mixed 4-5 in the provincial class efforts. So last week behind Curo, didn't get much luck. Probably just disappointing, to be honest, but I know the motor's there. She was finalist in the Group 2 Oaks at Cannington. I think she's got a lot of talent. From 3 Bagnea, like Shorty said, has been a little bit disappointing and costly to follow since the transition to Mandurah. For 3rd, number 5 Cura, massive run last week. And for 4th, number 1 West on Smoky from the really good draw there. He's right down in class. Won't take him too long to win one of these. 2, 3, 5, 1, race 7.
It was an eye-catching run by Curo last start, and I agree with Shorty. I think he's the one to beat. Number 5 from number 1 West on Smoky. The box draw obviously suits. For 3rd, number 2 Shy Emoji, and 3 Bagnea. 5, 1, 2, 3. Race number 7. Race 8, free for all, over the 400 metres. Favourite here is with number 8, What a Ripper, at $2 in from $2.20 with a scratching of number 7, Brain Teaser. It's 1, 1 of 5 from box number 8. So which way are you going in the final leg of the quaddie, Jesse?
I'm going 8, 2, 1 and 4. Number 8, What a Ripper on top. He won from box 7 2 runs ago, and that was the chase final. He was a massive effort, worked his way around the field. He's got plenty of upside. He's only a very young chaser. He's going to win plenty more free-for-alls to come. He was a little bit disappointing last week from an inside draw, but I think I like him from wider boxes. For 2nd, at number 2, Barrio Beast. Nice run last week behind Solid Tank. For 3rd, number 1, Solid Tank. He's got the gun draw. And for 4th, I'll throw in 4, Little Bit Twisted. 8, 2, 1, 4, race 8.
Similar numbers. I'm just looking for a bit of value with number 2, Barrio Beast here. I thought when Brain Teaser was there, it probably had the capacity to work What a Ripper a little harder. That said, Sunset Blackhawk in 6 can get up the track and quickly, so they may still find each other a little bit there out wide. If that's to be the case, Barrio Beast could be that dog that's sort of camped on the dogs up front, the likes of Solid Tank and Rubidium, a little bit twisted if those 2 out wide don't get over and smoking the pipe in the run. I think it's a pretty easy top 2 play to have Barrio Beast the way it hit the line last week. Got within a length of Solid Tank, who was up high balling, and Barrio Beast was hitting the line hard late. So 2 each way from 8. What a Ripper. If it gets over, it's awfully hard to run down. 1 Solid Tank will be right there from the draw. And 4 Little Bit Twisted. 2, 8, 1 and 4.
Okay, let's go to... Have I given my selections? No. Okay, I'm going 1, 2, 8 and 4. My phone's going off at the moment. Managing this place, Shorty, and also trying to run a greyhound show.
Sure, it's Hollywood ringing up, Pete.
I should throw the phone away.
Goodness.
Yeah, it's driving me mad at the moment.
Stick to the landline, Pete.
Yeah, go back to the old days. Solid Tank on top. I like the way this greyhound won last week and was able to hold out Barrio Beast from the inside draw. No disadvantage in the speed that he showed to get across from box number 8. I was impressed with. So Solid Tank on top. 2 Barrio Beast is a very consistent chaser. 8 What a Ripper and 4 Little Bit Twisted. 1, 2, 8 and 4. Race number 9. Favourite here is with number 6 Jimmy's Jet. $1.55. What did you make of last week's $1.60 effort, Shorty?
Last week I was really keen on Jimmy's Jet, who drew box 8, and then it was abandoned, the race. So,
the week before.
Yeah, he had the week with the feet up on the dashboard there last week. Jimmy's Jet late in the meeting, unfortunately, and I thought he was really well placed in that race from box 8, where he was going to get no pressure around him and the chance to just muster and zoom to the top. This time, doesn't map anywhere near as friendly, and the $1.55 is not appealing. I think he can win, and he's my on-top suggestion. His best will definitely be winning here, but it's an awkward draw in a race where there is early pace, and he's not guaranteed locked in to just zoom straight to the front and run time. So going to need a little bit of luck, and at $1.55, it's a tip no bet for me tonight, Jimmy's Jet. So him on top from number 1, 2 Ronnie's, who from the inside draw is likely to step, punch forward, take a good prominent role and be hard to run down. I'm having a spec bet here just at the price on number 3, Grass Patch. I think that's a little disrespectful price-wise about a greyhound. It's coming off at $22.57 last time out. It's a winner 9 of 31, and Grass Patch's best. You don't always know when it's coming, but when it comes, it wins high-grade races in quick time. So it would win this race more than 1 in 13, in my opinion. So I'm happy enough to spec Grass Patch at the longer odds. And I'll round it out with greyhound number 5, Wild Ollie, who can always spear and give dogs something to run down. 6, 1, 3 and 5 for me. Small spec on the longer price Grass Patch. Happy to tip Jimmy's Jet, Pete, but a little bit wary about the box draw. How do you see it tonight there, Jesse?
It's a race that's full of depth, and he still deserves to be a $1.55 favourite. That probably says a lot more about the greyhound than it does the field. We haven't really seen him ping like he did in that qualifying trial at Cannington. Mind you, it was only against one other greyhound, and he beat the greyhound by 26 lengths. And he ran the track record. But his maiden efforts and his novice races, he's never pinged. And I'd want to see him ping because I think he's going to give the clock an almighty shake. He's only half a length off Crumbles Manelli's track record. It's his race to lose. He's just got to jump with him and he should burn him off. For second 3, Grass Patch, I'm with you, Shorty. This is way over the odds. Nice win last week in mixed 4-5 company. For third 1, 2 Ronnies. And for fourth, I'll throw an 8 Kanya Fine, 6-3-1-8 in race number 9.
I've gone the same as Shorty, 6, 1, 3 and 5, Jimmy's Jet on top, but I won't be backing him at the price. Race number 10 over the 300 metres. Number 3, Social Equity, comes out here, and I'm a Tiger is the favourite currently at $2.65. Found the break at $3. I'd originally gone for Social Equity, but with her coming out, she can't win now, Shorty. So I'm going with number 4, I'm a Tiger, a greyhound who has been racing in probably against tougher opposition. Drops in grade tonight for Colleen Pearson. From number 1, Found the Break, a greyhound with a good record from inside draw. 6, Turtle Fernando, and I'll put in number 7, Flying Goldwing for Diane Carmody. Can improve. 4-1-6-7.
Yeah, it's a good race. It is a really interesting race to round out proceedings tonight. And with you, I thought Social Equity off that win last week was probably going to be the greyhound to beat. But with it coming out, I think now that number 4, I'm a Tiger, with a safe getaway and a vacant box on its inside, does get its opportunity to punch into our forward roll and be hard to run down. From 1, Found the Break. I think number 7, Flying Goldwing, is a greyhound that at that price will likely get me for a small play. If they jam inside or don't quite get it right, it can absolutely charge into the race from here. And number 6, Turtle Fernando, 4, 1, 7 and 6 for me in the last.
I'll go 8, 1, 4 and 7. I was also with Social Equity with a scratching, so now my roughie gets promoted to first. Magnesium. Form is very disappointing, but I can say this, if he runs to his trial times, he will be winning, but he's yet to run to his trial times, and he's been very disappointing. I've got him on top from number 1, Found the Break. For third, 4, I'm a Tiger, and fourth, 7, Flying Goldwing. 8, 1, 4, 7, race 10.
Wouldn't we all like our greyhounds to run like they tried, Jesse?
Oh, I'd have a very good kennel, Pete.
Yes. Speaking of good kennels, Ryan Levitsky's about to join us. He'll be calling all of the action for us tonight at Mandurah. How are you, Ryan?
Very well, Pete.
Looking forward to tonight's program. Heats of the Nambillup Cup back this evening. Which way are we going first up with your best, please?
Well, I'm very deflated with the price of All About Coal. I was hoping for 170, 180, so I'm just going to forget about All About Coal at the $1.30, and I'm going to go race 1, number 8, Fennec Fox, upwards of $3. Into race 4, number 1, Oreo Apprentice, same grade it's been racing in, but I just think this is a bit easier. Actually, no, that's wrong because it was a city novice last start. So, yeah, that makes sense. It is a bit easier. And Barrio Beast has come up $5 and $2.15. There's no third div in race 8. So race 8, number 2, Barrio Beast, a great each-way bet. And I have done a quaddie. First leg, 2, 4, 8. Second leg, 1, 3, 6. Third leg, 2, 3, 4. Fourth leg, 1 and 2. And that's 54 combinations.
All right. What about tomorrow night at Mandurah, the Winter Cup final?
Race 2, number 1, Starlight Ariel. Race 5, number 2, Molfetta Cruise. And race 10, number 1, Cheers Mick are my 3 tomorrow night. And a quaddie, 1, 2, 5, 6, into 1 and 6, into 1 and 2, into 1, 2 and 3, and that's 48 combos.
And have you had a look at Sunday, Monday or Tuesday yet?
I sure have. Tuesday, race 8. Now, so a lot of these Chris House West on greyhounds showed a stack of talent early, and they must have had some injury problems, and this is one of them. Race 8, number 8, West on Roy Lynn, when it first came on the scene, was struggling to run the 520 at Cannington, but was putting in some ridiculously quick early and mid-race sections. So I'll just put a bit of faith in West on Roy Lynn from the perfect draw, theoretically over the perfect distance, to be ready to go. Race 8, number 8 on Tuesday.
Good on you, mate. Good calling tonight.
North Melbourne a value too, Pete. Farewell.
Thanks for that. Ryan Levitsky just throwing a grenade in there. Yeah, West Coast. At the beginning of the year, I didn't think they'd win a game, so I'm already in front, Shorty. Have you done a best and a quaddie for tonight, please?
I have indeed, Pete. For what it's worth, I think West Coast to win this weekend. Race 3, number 4, All About Coal is the first of the plays, and it's like Ryan. I'm far from excited about the price that's been dished up, but maybe play some novelties with it around Coco Shimmer. Clifton, Matilda, Hippie Trail, throw them in. Maybe have an early quaddie, anchor it there if you're looking for some value. On to race 5, number 2, Wise Barra is the second of my plays. I think it can step from that inside draw and then get to where it wants to be mid-track. And Barrio Beast, race 8, number 2, looks good value around that $5 mark. It's only pay 1 and 2. But I think that you can certainly have something there. So race 3, number 4, race 5, number 2, race 8, number 2 each way. Quaddie-wise, going a bit wider tonight. First leg numbers 2, 4, 6, 8. Second leg 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Third leg 1, 2, 3, 5. Home with 1, 2 and 8. It's $2.92 for a full unit. Just under $30 will get you 10%. Let's hope we can get a double-figure job or two on the way through and get a nice divvy tonight there for the quaddie. Pete, what about you, Jesse?
Race 5, number 2, Wise Barrow. Race 6, number 7, West on Miley. I do like race 8, number 8, What a Ripper. For a quaddie, we'll go field the first leg, 2, 3, 6, 7 the second leg, 2, 3, 5 the third leg, and we'll stand out 8, What a Ripper in the final leg there, Pete.
All right, let's turn our attention across to the Saturday program. Can't believe we're starting a Saturday program with a country 300-metre event, and Tab Touch doesn't have the market up at the moment. Just for selection, Shorty, I'll go 2, 1, 5 and 6, but I would have preferred this as race number 10 on the program, but I can understand the graders would probably think, well, no one would bet into race number 10, so let's throw it in first.
Maybe.
Maybe they want to keep you on your toes, Pete. Just get you warmed up with a nice 300-metre race.
Actually, I'd prefer to call, when you get tired, I prefer to call the short course first than last. It's really difficult calling. I remember at Cannington, the 275s, race number 12, they were difficult, but for your concentration. What do you think, Shorty?
I'm going 2, 1, 8 and 3 here in the first. Pete, Incredible Pink for Fran Farrell from Party Dash. Been racing consistently. 8, Chasing the Ace, runs plenty of placings. And 3, Kid Ego, 2, 1, 8, 3.
Down the page, 1, 2, 3, 4 for me in race number 1.
Let's go to race number 2 on the program. We have a market up here with Tab Touch. This is over the 488 metres. Number 2, Sunset Lasso, from $2.35 into $2.10. And currently the favourite, obviously, for David Hobby, a greyhound who was impressive from box number 6 last week. Shorty defeating Chef's Kiss, one of those litters that you like following. And this greyhound looks like that she's got a fair bit of ability.
100%, yeah, nice dog on the way through. I would suggest here Sunset Lasso, be sticking with it to get the job done. As you touched on, some nice dogs also in that race. Chef's Kiss, member of that good litter, drawn out wide, can play a part. But I've gone 2 on top and made it one of the best bets on the program. Taken with that 27-28 run last week where it took care of business against Chef's Kiss pretty comfortably. So 2, Sunset Lasso on top. From number 1, a Starlight Ariel, who I think will run second or third here behind the 2. So looks a really nice trifecta style of race to get involved with. So 2, then Rove the 1 to run second or third. 8, Chef's Kiss. As we've touched on, I've got a bit of a love affair with this litter. They just keep getting better with racing, and they've impressed me greatly with what they've done in a short space of time. And I'll round it out with a greyhound number 6 in Beauty in Me, 2, 1, 8 and 6. But my play, 2 up front and then rolling 1 to run second or third with a field around it. Might be a way of getting a bit of value. But I'll take Sunset Lasso as one of the best on the night. Slow beginner on the inside there. Pete should be able to punch up and be hard to run down.
2, 1, 8 and 7 for me. 2, Sunset Lasso on top from Starlight Ariel, who should get the nice sit on Sunset Lasso. For third, 8, Chef's Kiss was a nice run from a wide draw. Has broken 30 seconds at Cannington, so she's no slouch. And for fourth, number 7, Gino Bravinsky, first up over the 488 metres, will be interesting after a nice win in a novice coming from behind. 2, 1, 8 and 7, race number 2.
I think it's a good race to be playing the first fours in. I think 2, 1 run first, second in that order, and then I'm going to put in number 8, Chef's Kiss, for third, ahead of number 3, Such a Vibe, the litter sister. So 2, 1, 8 and 3. If you want to put a couple more in for fourth, you can do so, but I think you'll be able to get the trifecta at least with those 4 numbers and hopefully get a return with the first 4. Let's go to race number 3, and this again is over the 488 metres. Gimli, the favourite Gimli, at $3.20 for Jamie Marsh, a very impressive winner on Wednesday. Yep, and won very, very well. Comes up against a very good field, though, Shorty. Which way are you going?
I thought this was a pretty challenging race, to be honest with you, Pete. I've gone with Gimli on top, but no good thing. There's plenty of pace in this race, and there's plenty of depth in this race as well, which is going to make it challenging for all runners. I am suggesting in this race anything could win it. So it's a race where I think one of the rank outsiders in this field, number 7, Nifty Ned, can absolutely hit the frame and run top 4 as the rank outsider. And nearly anything could win it. So how I'm playing the race personally is I'm road banking Nifty Ned, and when I say road banking, you basically take the field around Ned to run 2nd, 3rd or 4th. I'll have a small win bet on the dog at $26 to make sure I win if it wins, but then smaller plays with it running 2nd, 3rd and 4th with anything around it, Pete, for a smaller percentage. And if we get a bit of value in that first box and it runs into a hole as a rank outsider without having to outlay a lot, I think in a tricky race, we might be able to get an earn out of it. So that's how I'll be tackling it myself. But I'll go 4 on top, Gimli. From 2, Soul Survivor, who hasn't had much luck at its last few. 7, Nifty Ned, I think is a huge price, and happy enough to have a spec each way on it at the longer odds. It'll be strong late. And I'll also include number 5, Sassy Snickers, who could get on the arm and give them something to chase down there, the peanut chaser. 4, 2, 7, 5.
Interesting race. I've gone 1, 4, 6 and 3. Western Odie, he's been very costly to follow, but he's right down out of free-for-alls. He's a city winner in the past. Comes up with box number 1, which he really enjoys. 5 starts, 2 wins and a third. I'm going with him on top. From 4, Gimli, a nice winner on Wednesday. He's not electric out of the boxes. That's the query here. For 3rd, 6, Emerald Guard, who was impressive on last week, Thursday, in those country races, running some quick times. And for 4th, number 3, Indigo Ruby could show some pace early. 1, 4, 6, 3, race 3.
I know they've been against easier opposition, Emerald Guard, but I think Morgan Turner's really raced this greyhound through his grades nicely. I think he's got a lot of ability, and even though he goes out to box number 6, I think he's a huge chance here. So 6 on top. From 4, Gimli. Number 1, West on Odie, is nicely drawn. It's won 2 of 5 from box number 1, but again has never won in 8 starts here at the track. It always grabs at me. And number 8, Mohican Mistress, 6, 4, 1 and 8. I understand what you're saying about Nifty Ned. I think it may be run into 3rd or 4th. I'll fall out of the box if it wins.
Yeah, I wouldn't fall out of the box if it wins. No, I think it's that sort of race. And if it sits handy enough, it'll be the dog absolutely charging hard at them late here.
He's a sub-30 winner at Cannington in the past as well, and he did return massive odds when he won on that occasion.
Yeah. It's not, if he was a shorter quote, then I'd maybe question it. But this dog won over 7.15 only 2 starts ago. This is just a race to me that looks messy. There's a couple of dogs that go forward that aren't super strong, that struggle to run the trip out. There's a couple of dogs that are in the market that aren't the most reliable beginners. I just think it's got boil over written over on sort of on the race, and these for me, I love playing small amounts into these races and specking dogs at big odds, because if they hit the frame without spending much, you can find yourself winning some decent amounts of coin.
I know the Chili Man backed him at $50 when he won that race at Cannington. Defeated a dog that was very, very weak late.
That would haunt you every night, Pete. You go to bed thinking of
we move on.
Nifty Ned over the top.
Yeah, we move on. Race number 4, the Winter Cup Final. This is a very good race, really classy field.
Don't hold it against Ned. Don't hold it against Ned. You can get around him tomorrow night.
Okay. I won't make any stupid comments because I'll probably be sitting naked in the commentary box all day. Electrified won this race last year, Momentum the year before in Jackson County. There's been some stars that have won this race over the years, obviously at Cannington. Blue Echo, Bright Idea, Hall of Fame Greyhound, Sandy's My Mum, Shorty, Honcho's Bid won the race twice, Pedrosa won it twice, and On Coin as well. Some absolute stars. And this is a star-studded field on Saturday night, I think, at Mandurah. The field with Tab Touch has it open. Barbecue Man at $3. West on Booney, $3.50. Good win by Barbecue Man last week. Good time as well. Has to overcome box number 7, and I think that he can do so. I think Paul Stewart has this greyhound really going well at the moment. I think he's one of the best greyhounds in Western Australia. I know it's a big statement considering we had a Group 1 winner over in Queensland last night. Number 6, Sunset Hornets, another greyhound with a lot of ability, doesn't mind wide draws. Number 8, West on Booney, will be very, very strong. It was a good run last week considering the trouble that he found. And Pudding Manelli, nicely drawn, very talented chaser that has been placed his last 5, and wouldn't surprise me in a race like this that he would step up and win. 7, 6, 8 and 1 might have missed the winner.
Indeed, yeah. Gee, Honcho's bid, that brings back some great memories. Well, some of those dogs from years gone by, Pete, you're right. This is a good dog's race, and Barbecue Man is a good dog. He's proven that over a significant period of time. It's just been lack of continuity in his racing that's probably stopped the dog from going to that next level, to be honest. But nice to see the dog back well. And I'll put my hand up. Last week, I was really keen that Myaniki Boy would get the better of Barbecue Man, just because Myaniki Boy is such a great Mandurah 488-metre dog. But Barbecue Man took everything else out of the equation early doors by stepping really well. And it's going to have to do that again here from box number 7. Sunset Hornet on its inside will begin and sort of happy to stay up the track. So Barbecue Man just has to overcome that in the early stages and get across into a spot here. I'll go with Barbecue Man, but there are many winning hopes. One, Pudding Manelli, I think, is locked in to hit the frame here. It looks a great place bet and a really nice dog to include in your trifectas and first fours. Number 8, West on Booney. The draw looks a little sticky on paper, but he's got the turn of foot to get himself out of trouble, this dog. A really, really talented canine. And I'll round things out with greyhound number 2, Kanya Kraken, who off the draw is another that should get a nice run. Very challenging affair. 7, 1, 8 and 2. Ripper edition of the Winter Cup. Jesse, how do you see it?
I've gone 7, 1, 8 and 3. 7, Barbecue Man. He's got a carve across. I think Sunset Hornet would give him a nice card into the race. He can burn him off down the back. For second, number 1, Pudding Manelli. Like you said, Shorty, this greyhound, I'd be surprised if he doesn't hit the frame. He's got good form over the trip. 5 starts for a win, 3 minors. For third, number 8, West on Booney. You can't forget him in feature races. He won the All-Stars last year. And for fourth, number 3 in Al Benson. 7, 1, 8 and 3, race 4.
Race number 5, first leg of the quaddie, grade 5 over the 488 metres, and from a heat of the Winter Cup, dropping back to a grade 5. I think he's a special. I love the price about Myaniki Boy, Shorty, $1.80. I think that's money for jam.
Indeed. That's like stealing corn from a blind cocky, Pete, to quote the great Paul Ambrosoli from years gone by. Winner 6 of 8 track and trip. Just a horror watch last week. Found itself in a very awkward spot from box number 6. Go back and watch some of the replays of this dog's performances at Mandurah. It absolutely loves this place. It dominates. And back to graded company. Looks different gravy to me. Absolute one of the star bets of the weekend. From 2, Mulfetta Cruise, who I thought was another really good performance last time out over this distance range. Expect it to be hitting the frame and the danger if there is one. Number 8, Trevor's Gift, is a greyhound that is up the grades now, but certainly has been racing quite well going back 3 and 4 runs ago. Gave a fair bit of cheek in those particular events. And one of the outsiders of the field, number 3, Lady Dior, can hit the frame for third or fourth here and help to jack up trifectas and first fours, which might need to with Myaniki Boy looking the good thing that it is here. 5, 2, 8 and 3.
I've gone 2, 5, 6 and 8, and I'm pretty confident saying I don't think there's much between Mulfetta Cruise and Myaniki Boy. They're separated by 2 lengths on the clock. Mulfetta Cruise is a winner here in free-for-alls in the past. His last couple have been a little bit disappointing, but over this trip he's a different dog. For second, 5, Myaniki Boy, the massive danger. He's a talented chaser, absolutely loves the trip. For third, number 6, Speedy Genie, and for fourth, 8, Trevor's Gift. 2, 5, 6, 8, race number 5.
I'll go 5, 2, 6, 8, Myaniki Boy. I think he's a special from Mulfetta Cruise. I think those two can run in the top 2. It was a good run by Mulfetta Cruise a couple of starts ago behind Hinto. Number 6, Speedy Genie. I hope Shane Williams is okay. He won a race on Wednesday with a heavily backed Iconic Jet, Shorty, and I've never seen him look so pale, waiting for the judges' numbers to go up. And 8, Trevor's Gift. 5, 2, 6 and 8. Race number 5.
Yes.
Did you see the movement? $4 into $1.60, I think it was.
It was a cave-in, wasn't it? The $4 didn't last too long. Unfortunately, it didn't last long enough for me to get a look at it, Pete. It caved right on in. One of the more talented Ripon Memphis pups, and great to see her now starting her role as a producer. We spoke to Jay Jacobson on our outside broadcast about how she's looked after the 2 litters to start off with. And basically they've been like her kids. The second litter to Feral Frankie are now on their way across to the East Coast, of course, being reared and the like. So, but we'll follow her journey really closely, and it looks like she's going to be a pretty nice mum.
Yeah, he was back, wasn't he, yesterday? Missed Great Grace.
He was back. He was in good order. Very good order, yep. The money was in his account by then, Pete. I think the colour returned to his cheeks. All
right. Which way are you going, Shorty, in race number 6? West on Nuggets at $2.35. Flying Frida at $2.20. I thought Flying Frida's run last start was full of merit and really good time as well from an inside draw.
Absolutely, and she moves to a slightly wider draw here, but I think if you're being fair, you're really giving her some pretty decent credit for that run last week, and knowing that more often than not, she's probably superior early in her races to what West On Nugget is going to do. And with Penny Magic in this race, you'd think it'll probably get across West On Nugget, and that allows Flying Frida to come across with them. And from there, I think it'll be really hard to beat. So 6 on top, Flying Frida from number 1, West On Nugget, who's always very, very hard to beat. It's over this distance going to be very strong. That last 60 or 70 metres, it'll be rattling home at them. Then number 4 in Penny Magic, who I have enormous respect for, and rounding it out with number 2 in Acing Kuna, 6-1, 4 and 2, but made it one of the best bets of the weekend, Flying Frida. Hope she can zoom to the top and be hard to run down, Jesse.
I've gone 1, 6, 4 and 8. 1 West On Nugget on top. Was a good second behind Flying Frida, only defeated by a head there. Copped a couple of checks on the first corner. From box 1, he's got a good record, 4 starts, 2 wins and a minor. Over this trip, he's yet to win, but been placed on 2 occasions. I think this is the race where he can battle forward. I think Penny Magic and Flying Frida are going to go at it, and he can get the sit on the 2. Chasers there in Penny Magic and Flying Frida, who have got Flying Frida for second, Penny Magic for third, and for fourth 8 and 90 mile Rose. 1, 6, 4, 8, race number 6.
I called my first 652-metre race last Saturday, and I've heard the commentators, and I've seen on Sky, and I think, they're putting a lot of mayo on the fact that they can't see the boxes. You literally cannot see them.
No, you've got to look at the monitor for the first part of the race to see.
You can't see the green light either.
You can't see the green light.
There's a light in the way on the grandstand that blocks the green light.
Almost caught me the other night. I just saw the lure coming around. I thought, okay,
that's going
racing.
Excellent.
Anyway, 6, 1, 8 and 4. I'm going Flying Frida to beat the kennelmate West On Nugget. Number 8, 90 mile Rose, and 4 Penny Magic. 6, 1, 8, 4. In race number 6. On
the upside, it's the best starting point from a spectator's perspective anywhere in the state.
You see so many kids that go out there and see them.
Hard work for a few of our fine, talented broadcasters up in the commentary box, but
the 380 is a very good start point to watch as well, because you're right next to the boxes and you can see them as they come out.
At Cannington?
Yes.
It's good to see them. You don't want to watch them after they've gone 5 metres.
No, you hold your breath.
Yeah. Race 7, and Sunset Comanche is the favourite here. Jesse at $1.60, and from $1.65 for David Hobby, a greyhound who's hasn't started since that last meeting at Cannington, when finishing third behind Hurricane Taylor.
I was a bit surprised to see it's so short. It's a hard 6.52 at Mandurah. And I'm going with a greyhound who's got experience over the trip in Jamie Keeping. 8 starts, 2 wins and 5 minors. Last week was in a free-for-all over the 488. The trip doesn't suit, back over the 6.52. I think she's got a competitive personal best here. I think she'll lead and take some catching. From 1 Sunset Comanche, interesting to see how we go over the trip. He hasn't been tested over further than 520, so the straight 6.52 metre jump it's a big step. For third, number 8, Tim on Lane, and for fourth, 2, Harley Manelli, 6, 1, 8 and 2, race 7.
Good race. I'm really keen, though, here on seeing Sunset Comanche out in trip to the 652 metres. The way that this dog's finished off some of its 520-metre races, it's really appears to be the sort of dog that's going to really eat up the extra ground. Now, that doesn't always mean the case. Sometimes they get to about sort of 590 metres and just gas right out. But Sunset Comanche, certainly its racing pattern suggests that this is a trip that the dog's been looking forward to, and I'm prepared to bet accordingly. On spec from number 6, Jamie Keeping, who, as Jesse alluded to, loves the track and trip here. 8 tries, 2 wins and 5 seconds. This is a dog we mentioned last week, Pete, that it'll pay to follow over the next 4 months, because it hadn't been able to win those 700-metre races in town at Cannington, but now with the city races at Mandurah over a favourite distance, keep Jamie Keeping on side. She's a good price to have a little spec on Saturday night at $6 and $2. Number 2, Harley Manelli, is never far from the action, really consistent, and 8, Tim on Lane, 1, 6, 2 and 8.
I'm going with Jamie Keeping as well. I want to watch Sunset Comanche, see where he actually gets to early, because he doesn't have that early speed going into that corner. So 6 on top, Jamie Keeping. He's a very quick dog, and if he does run the distance, he's the one to beat. Sunset Comanche for second. 2, Harley Manelli, 8, Tim and Lane, 6, 1, 2, 8 in race race 7. Race number 8 on the program. No market up at the moment. Van der Collen, a greyhound who's been placed at both runs over this trip at Mandurah over the 400 metres, and I'm going to be putting him on top from number 8, All About Quartz. Now, this greyhound's only won once from 13 starts, but now that we're all racing down at Mandurah, he might be able to improve, and a couple of his victories up in town were from wide draws. Number 6, Notorious Harada's got ability, and 2, Aztec Kid. 1, 8, 6 and 2, Shorty.
1, 8, 6 and 2 for Pete in race number 8. I thought this was a race with many winning prospects, to be honest with you. I thought it was quite an open affair. I've ended up going with number 7 here in Distribution, who is a greyhound that is certainly capable on its night, placed in a free-for-all going back a handful of runs ago behind Henry Keeping, gets back out to 400 metres here. I thought it was in with decent claims, hopefully at a reasonable price. From number 1, Van der Collen. Number 6, Notorious Harada, back into winning form a couple of starts ago. Always been a very consistent and reliable canine. And greyhound number 8 in All About Quartz. 2, Aztec Kid, is worthy of some recognition as well. Another tricky race, 7-1-6-8.
I've gone 6-1-2-7, 6 Notorious Harada on top. Track and trip record isn't great. 10 starts, only won once, but has been placed on 6 occasions. Last week was really unlucky behind Grass Patch. Actually got to the front, was dragged down, copped a couple of checks. Before then was a winner in 22.64. I don't think they need to go too much quicker than that to win this race. So Notorious Harada on top. From number 1, Van der Collen. For 3rd, number 2, Aztec Kid. And for 4th, 7, Distribution, running well in those country free-for-alls over 300 metres. 6-1-2-7, race 8.
Race number 9, free-for-all over the 488 metres, and equal favourites. In fact, Sunset Mirage is the favourite at $2.80 up from $2.65. There's been money for Custard, Manelli, Carter, Axelrod, both at $2.90. Which way are you going, Jesse?
I'm going with Carter Axelrod on top, but dropping back in trip after last week's effort over the 652 where he led a long way. It's probably just a little bit of a bridge too far. He did break the track record, but on that occasion, that track was really hot when he did run that quick 36.88. But before then, record in City Class 600-metre races has been fantastic. Dropping back in trip, I think it suits him here. From number 4 in Dandalup Blazer, won a provincial 4-5 here in 22.26 back in April. For 3rd one, Custard Manelli off the inside draw. And for 4th, 8, Sunset Mirage is well drawn as well. 2-4-1-8, race 9.
2-4-1-8 for Jesse. I've gone 2-8-1-4. 2 on top, Carter Axelrod. Gee, this dog's been in an amazing run of form. A big credit to Jay and now Corey. Job they've done with this canine's just been spectacular. It keeps on knocking up winning races wherever it goes, and it took them till very late to run it down over the 652 last week. Back to the 488 here. Should be able to punch forward, take a forward roll, and if it leads, surely they're not running it down, given it's coming off the 652 prep. So 2 on top, and I think the price is okay, $2.90 from 8 Sunset Mirage. Very capable dog, as is number 1 Custard Manelli, and then number 4 Dandalup Blazer, 2-8-1-4.
I like Sunset Mirage, and he's got an excellent record. He's won 3 of 5 from box number 8, vacant box on his inside. I think he's a really big play in this race. So 8 on top from number 1, Custard Manelli, who's also got a good record from inside draws. Carter Axelrod, I prefer over the 600, and number 4, Dandalup Blazer, 8, 1, 2 and 4 in race number 9. And to the last, there's no market up with Tab Touch at the moment. Pecorino Manelli is a greyhound who certainly can improve in this type of grade. So 5 on top for me. 1, Cheers Mick, was a nice run on debut over the trip. Number 2 in Ripon Warrior, and 8 Go Get 'em Herbie, 5, 1, 2, 8 in the last.
5, 1, 2 and 8 for Pete in the last year. Not a race that I'll be getting too heavily involved with. In the lucky last, look, I'll go with the red on top here. Cheers Mick from 8 Go Get 'em Herbie, dog that's got a bit of early. Number 5 in Pecorino Manelli, another dog with some early zoom, and 2 Ripon Warrior, 1, 8, 5, 2 for the sake of some numbers in the last, Jesse.
I'll go 5, 8, 7, 4, 5 Pecorino Manelli on top. Did win a maiden series back in April. For 2nd at number 8, Go Get 'em Herbie. For 3rd, 7 Moment for Life. And for 4th, 4 All About Marble could fill a place there. 5, 8, 7, 4, race 10. Best bets on the card, race 2, number 2, Sunset Lasso. Race 5, number 2, Mulfetta Cruise. And race 6, number 1, Weston Nugget. For a quaddie, we'll go 2-5 the first leg, 1-6 the second leg, I should say. The third leg, 6 and 8, and bring it home with 1-2-6. What about yourself there, Shorty?
Best bets for me, I like the card. Race 2, number 2, Sunset Lasso. Race 5, number 5, My Anarchy Boy. Race 6, number 6, Flying Frida. Race 7, number 1 in Sunset Comanche. Quaddie, 2 and 5, leg 1, 1 and 6, leg 2, 1-2-6, leg 3, home with the field, $84 for a full unit. Around our $30 spend there will get you just under 35% on Saturday night, Pete.
Good on you, Shorty. And Jesse, thanks for your help and assistance this morning with finding winners at the Mandurah program tonight and also tomorrow night. Big night of greyhound racing this evening, and it'll all be covered here on TAB Radio, Racing and Sport.